everyone, and welcome back to the Hexagon Challenge here on Shaun Does FM. I hope you are doing well. Today it is the semi-finals of the Leagues Cup, and we are taking on the Vancouver Whitecaps from Canada and the MLS. So if you're looking forward to that, remember to go down below, leave a thumbs up on the video, and if you haven't done so already, also consider hitting that subscribe button and turning that notification bell on as well. It is greatly appreciated. But since yesterday's episode where we took on the New York Red Bulls and won the Campeones Cup to make it a double for the season here, if you missed that episode, I will leave a link to it in the top right corner for you to go check that out. But we've had a few games since then free in Liga MX, so got for a little bit more of the season than we have in prior episodes. 2 wins and a draw from those games, keeping us in a good position. First off, we took on Cruz Azul away from home and picked up a good 3-0 win here. It was Wellison getting us off to a good start here in the 23rd minute. We played well prior to this. Puente with another flick on there from a Clayton cross. He's done that a few times this season now. Here's our man up top, our first choice one. Just flicking that on in a simple tap in for Wellison at the near post outside, and then was played through there by Jimenez getting another assist. Good to see him back from injury and performing well, and we were 2-0 up at half time thanks to that Wellison double. And then just about after the hour mark, Solly with a wonderful strike coming off the bench to lash that into the top left corner, and we did make it 3-0 on the day. A good performance overall, lots of green ratings, and a good performance off the bench from Solly as well. So really good stuff from us there. Cruz Azul, as you can tell by the stats, really didn't get much of a look in that game. A solid all-round performance from us to make it 4 from 4 in Liga MX. And then we went to take on Mazatian. This was a game where we did put out the rotation team just with how things were going schedule-wise, and unfortunately we dropped points for the first time in Liga MX this season with a 2-2 draw. We got off to a good start in this game. Hernandez with a corner finds the head of Solly, and he gets another goal to make it 1-0 early on, but then straight from a goal kick in the 25th minute, Garcia missing the header, they play it forward to Oliveira, and he buries that in the bottom left corner to equalise things. Then in the second half, another free kick to Hernandez. This time it was Gomez who was able to get his head to it. We were back in front, but then right before full time, with their second shot on target of the game, Ruiz puts this in, and it's just Gomez with a bit of a defensive mistake there, letting that go through to their striker and Beltran, and they made it till, you look at the stats, frustrating result it has to be said. Not too sure how we didn't pick up points in that game. We played quite well. Just one of those days where every shot they had ended up on target, and a lot of ours didn't, and the ones that did, there weren't really enough of them. Just a little bit of a frustrating performance overall, it has to be said. But a tall draw away from home, still not a terrible result, and we bounced back off the back of that game, taking on Atlas Guadalajara and picking up a 1-0 win at their home ground. A game that we thoroughly dominated, but it took until a 72nd minute penalty, which Barco put away to put that beyond doubt. Again, you look at the stats, really should have won that game by a lot more, but just happy to get back on track and pick up a full 3 points there, which was nice to do after dropping points against Mazatian in the previous match week. So what that means for the Liga MX table is we are top and 3 points clear at the moment, albeit Club America could close that gap with a game in hand, but looking quite good for us in Liga MX, looking quite good for one of those top 4 spots, which would see us miss the preliminary round and step straight into the quarterfinals for the first phase of the season in that competition. But unfortunately, in amongst those games, we have picked up more injuries. It seems to be a bit of a curse since we've got to the club. We're suffering a lot of injuries. We didn't have much of a pre-season, or much of a gap in the pre-season, I should say, this year, because we went so deep into the playoffs of Liga MX, the second phase last season. So not much of a break for these guys, and maybe that's starting to catch up on us. You can see Ocampo and Garcia recovering from niggles. They are both available for today, but players we are missing: Ayala still out, that injury that got him in the very first game of the season, the Mexican Champions Trophy, still out for 2 to 5 weeks, but it is Wellison who is new on that injury list. A thigh strain, he's going to be out for 5 days to 3 weeks. That is a little bit of a setback, although we do have a very able replacement in Carvajal. And for this game against the Vancouver Whitecaps, we are actually going to put out our first team. It's not something we've done very often in this Leagues Cup, but we've got one more game in about 5 days after this, and then there's an international break. So it feels like a time where we can afford to risk the first team in this situation. It also helps that it's a semi-final against a team who are very much near the top of their conference in the MLS in the Vancouver Whitecaps. So this is the team we're going with. As you can see, pretty much as strong as we can get it with those injuries in mind, and we've got the backup players on the bench who are ready to do a job should they need to. So hopefully these guys can keep up their good little run of form. I did also think it would be worth sticking with the first team after our rotation did drop points in that Mazatlan game. Maybe these guys who have just kept on winning would be a bit more suitable for this semi-final to hopefully get us through to a final off the back of that upcoming international break. But that covers off all the admin stuff before this game. We'll be back shortly with kickoff from BC Place in Vancouver for the Leagues Cup semi-final against the Whitecaps, looking to end their 2-year reign in this competition. And we have TV coverage for this game. Vancouver are in the white today. We're in the blue. They are playing a 4-2-3-1. And there was their team. Can't say I recognise any players there. There's our team. As I said, the first choice team, of course, Jimenez, we bought from these guys in the transfer window. Just gone to an interesting match for him in the midfield. He has been good since he has came when he hasn't been injured. And we will be kicking off playing right to left. So an interesting situation for Jimenez. Hopefully he can get the wood on his former team as we get things going on the attack here through Guti areas, making his way down the right wing. A slide tackle from Wellington. It goes out to Clayton, and we look to make a good start in this away leg, and it hits the post across from Renan. Bit of a shaky start there for Vancouver, but it does remain 0-0 after half a minute.
Yeah.
And Mark Richardson's back, and it's a bit of a disaster of a start after that good opening minute or so. Alejandro Gutierrez has picked up an injury and cannot carry on, so maybe playing the first team in this game was a little bit of a mistake. Seemed like a good idea at the time. Hopefully they can at least win the game to justify that, but that's not what I was after. We only have the one right wing option on the bench, and it is our backup striker as well, one Pablo Solly, who, to be fair, is in quite good form, as you would have seen from those last couple of games. 2 goals in those, so that's really all we can do, but a bit of a bummer to start this game. Hopefully things improve from here on out, but Solly will be coming on for an injured Alejandro Gutierrez. Hopefully that isn't too serious, and we'll carry on at 0 early on, but down Gutierrez. 15 minutes gone, and we have a throw-in looking to bounce back from that injury, although Renan losing the ball there. But we've actually looked really good in these opening 15 minutes. Quite a few block shots, but apart from that injury, we've really looked quite good in this game. That's really been the only downside to the opening quarter of an hour. Now Carbajal has a shot from outside the box. It's blocked. We played around nicely, and now the referee has given a penalty. Puente going down there. It was a bit of a cluster in the box, but he went down fairly quickly, so I presume that it's a fair penalty. The referee is going to check the VAR screen, so this might get overturned, but we'll see what happens. And he has upheld the penalty VAR, so a good early chance for us here. Now, not entirely sure who is on penalties for us this year. It's Jimenez, the former Vancouver man, and he kicks it straight down the middle. And it remains 0. Oh, that's a terrible penalty. And the highlight does actually continue as they boot it deep through Del Castro in goal. We might have a chance to try and make amends for that penalty, but it was a terrible one. At least it was on target, I suppose. But that's about all you can say for that. It was just a perfect height and straight at him. So that's a poor penalty from the former Vancouver man against his former team, of course. So not a great start for him today, but we get the ball out to Barber through Jimenez. Finds Puente, and that's a really good save there from Del Castillo, and he keeps it at 0. Some good work and a couple of minutes from the goalkeeper there, albeit, as I said, didn't really need to do too much for the penalty. We put a corner in. They do miss the initial header there to Vancouver. Now Renan putting another ball in. They head it away, and it will be Kofti trying to get something going on the counter. But a really good chance from the spot for us there, but it does remain 0 after 20 minutes. 26 minutes gone here. We do have a free kick, which Schneller takes short. Still looking very much the dominant team in this game so far. Vancouver yet to have a shot after 26 minutes. So hopefully we can make it 1-0 soon. That's a good ball there for Carbajal. And just as we speak about it, it happens. We go 1-0 up after 26 minutes. That's exactly the bounce back we were after Jimenez missed a penalty. A very good ball there from Renan. We were just knocking it about after the free kick. Solly to Clayton. We'll ping this over to Renan, and a wonderful ball which gets Carbajal past his man and finishes it at the near post. And we deservedly, it feels like, go 1-0 up after 26 minutes. 45 minutes gone, right on the brink of half-time. We have a goal kick, taking it short and looking to make it 2-0. right before halftime. It's been a really good half. If we can get a second goal to grab that cushion, that would be very nice, because as I have said a few times, we have looked quite dominant so far, which is nice to say against a team who have looked quite good in MLS based on their league position in Vancouver. But we just knocked the ball quite nicely outside the box. Carvajal with a shot forces a good save from Del Castillo again. So despite conceding that one goal, he has had a very good half. The Vancouver keeper, good header there from Paulo, just wide though, and it looks like we'll be going to halftime at 1-0, and indeed that is the case. As I said, really happy with that half. You can see the stats. Probably should have 2 goals, a penalty, the obvious one. The only real downside of the half, as well as the Gutierrez injury. So hasn't been entirely ideal this game so far, but on pitch performance, Jimenez penalty aside, we've looked really good. Hopefully we can keep that up in the second half and make our way to the Leagues Cup final as we try and hold on to this 1-0 lead that we've earned in the first half here at BC Place in Vancouver. And we will actually make a substitution here at halftime. Carvajal on a yellow heart, and after that Gutierrez injury, just a little bit cautious about these players getting injured after that. So we'll bring Garcia on for him despite getting the goal to put us 1-0 up. You can see a potential foot injury there for Gutierrez, but we'll crack on with the second half. It will be Vancouver kicking off, playing right to left as they are 1-0 behind. 47 minutes gone. It's an early corner to us in the second half. Renan puts it in, and it is headed there. It's in the back of the net. That was an absolute cluster, and we do go 2-0 up. Perhaps VAR is going to check an offside here, so this could be interesting. It looked pretty safe, but he has disallowed that goal due to offside. Let's give our verdict on this. It was an absolute cluster. Looked like the first shot got blocked, and that is indeed where the offside is from. I suppose it's fair, and it remains 1-0 after 48 minutes. 52 minutes gone here. We were on the attack there through Solly, but they do win the ball back, do Vancouver, and look to square things up, which would feel a little bit harsh because they haven't fired a shot in this game yet, but they are in possession. Koulibaly up to Pazaman. It's a good ball there for Kofti, and with what feels like their first shot of the game, it might not be, but hasn't been that long in the second half, and they didn't have one by halftime. They make it 1-1, and that's a bit frustrating the way we've been playing. It's just some simple plays given far too much space there. Is Coffee. It's a good finish into the bottom right corner, so they make the most of their chance with their first shot of the game, and it's 1-1 after 54 minutes. 59 minutes gone here, and we are back down the other end for another corner as we look to get our lead back. Headed back out to Renan, and as I said, looking to get back in front. It's a shot from Barco. The keeper goes for it, gets blocked, and he just has to pop that through the defense into more or less an open net, and just like that, we get our lead back, and that certainly feels more deserved than the 1-1 scoreline that was there for a couple of minutes. Renan to Barco, tries to lash one into the top left corner. The goalkeeper goes for it. It gets blocked, and all he has to do, as I said, is just put in the open net, and at the hour mark, we're back up 2-1. 75 minutes gone. We have yet another corner. Had a few of these in the second half. We put it in, and it falls to Montoya. A missed header at the near post there. He just runs onto it and puts it in the bottom left corner, and we've got our cushion goal, and we are 3-1 up with only a quarter of an hour left in this game, starting to assert our dominance onto the scoreboard now, because we've looked very good in this game compared to Vancouver, and it now looks like it's reflected in the scoreline. 3-1 with 12 minutes to go, and we will make a substitution here. We will bring Avia on, and Renan playing quite well. He's been very good for us since we've joined the club, so we'll just make sure he doesn't pick up an injury. Avia on in that advanced playmaker role. Those are our 3 subs used, and it's 3-1 with 12 minutes to go in this Leagues Cup semi-final. 93 minutes gone. Vancouver with a free kick as they try to close the gap to a goal. De Los Santos with a shot from just outside the box. We might have a chance here to get going on the counter, but the referee blows full time, and we win this 3-1. A very good performance. Only downsides, as I said at halftime, really, it was the injury to Gutierrez early on and the missed penalty from Jimenez against his former club. They did get back into it in the second half with an early goal, but we struck back pretty quickly and then sealed it with quarter of an hour to go through a corner, which Montoya got onto the end of through his foot, not his head, which is interesting for a centre back, but a very good performance, and we deny Vancouver their 3rd straight Leagues Cup as we will make our way through to the final, and we will come back shortly to see who we will be playing in that game in tomorrow's episode. So it is time to find out who we will be playing in the final of this Leagues Cup, as well as check on that Gutierrez injury as well. We'll see how serious that is. But as you can see, a good 3-1 win from us. Really good performance, as I said. And in the other semi-final, which was Pumas away at the Columbus Crew in America, Columbus went through 2-2 on penalties. They came back with 2 late goals. In fact, all the goals in that game were late, but they go through on penalties. So that means it will be us versus the Columbus Crew in the Leagues Cup finals. We look to make it 3 trophies from 3 quite early in the season here. We are still in late August, so hasn't gone too far at all. If we can pick up an early treble, that would be good. A quick look at Columbus, currently 8th in the Eastern Conference, predicted to finish 9th, so in theory could be an easier task than what we had today against Vancouver. They are in different conferences, but 37 points compared to 52. Similar amount of games played. We've already beaten teams like the New York Red Bulls, who are slightly above them, so feel like we can be confident going into that final to try and make it a treble early doors in this 2033-34 season. And tomorrow's episode in that game is going to be taking place at a neutral venue, the Sam Boyd Stadium, which is somewhere in Las Vegas. Looks like an absolute random stadium that they've built for absolutely no reason, although it was built in 1971, so might be a real stadium in fact, so apologies if you're from Las Vegas, but that is where tomorrow's game will be played, the Leagues Cup final, as we try and make it a treble. But we also have to catch you guys up on a injury. Gutierrez going off early in that last game, and unfortunately he's broken his ankle, could be out for 3 to 4 months. We'll send him to a specialist to try and get that down as much as we can, but we're still in August. Hopefully he'll be back in time for the playoff part of the season, but very bad injury there. We do have Wellison coming back fairly soon. Hopefully he'll be available for that final, and maybe Ayala as well, but yeah, that's a big injury. Luckily, we do have good depth at right wing with the likes of Pidlita and Villalva, albeit not quite the same quality as Gutierrez. The other option we do have, if Wellison comes back in time for tomorrow, is that he can play on the right as well as the left, and we can leave Carvajal at left wing. So we've got some options, but a little bit light on our first choice wingers at the moment, which is a little bit of a shame, but hopefully we can get through it okay without suffering too much form-wise. But that will do for today's episode. A good win over the Vancouver Whitecaps to deny them a three-peat in the Leagues Cup. We will be trying to make it 3 trophies for us this season tomorrow instead, when we take on the Columbus Crew. If you did enjoy today's episode, make sure to go down below, leave a thumbs up on the video, and if you haven't done so already and enjoy what you see here with this Hexagon challenge, also consider hitting that subscribe button and turning that notification bell on as well. But until tomorrow, where it's the Leagues Cup final against the Columbus Crew, thank you very much for watching. Keep on keeping on, and I'll see you then. Cheers.